The Forgotten, the Forgotten Siblings, the Forgotten Grievers. Guys, this is a report that was put out in June of 2022, and it was by Jeff Healing, I believe is his name. The name of it, Siblings in Trauma, like Summerwells Brothers, Can Be Forgotten Grievers. Johnson City, Tennessee, WJHL. As media descended on the chaotic scene following Summerwells' June 15, 2021 disappearance, and law enforcement searched Hawkins County Beech Creek area, 3 boys wondered anxiously about what would happen. They were Summer's older brothers, ages 12, 9, and 7 at the time. I believe those ages are incorrect, but those are ages when processing traumatic events and grief is even more difficult than it is for adults, a marriage and family therapist told News Channel 11 Wednesday. Children are often the forgotten grievers, Julie Burks said. People don't recognize that children's coping as something that a child is grieving, so they will act out with anger and misbehavior, things that you would think, why are they acting that way? After the trauma of Summer's disappearance, her brother's difficulties weren't over. In the days immediately following the disappearance, church friends tried to keep the boys' spirits up amid the spotlight's glare on the family and what one family friend describes as a negativity from people online and in person. David Dotson told News Channel 11 of taking the boys to play miniature golf in Kingsport to give them a break from the busy scene around their home as search and rescue teams and agents combed the property. Dotson mentioned someone that made a comment that wasn't very polite, as if the trauma weren't significant. About 6 weeks later, the brothers would be removed from their parents' care by the Tennessee Department of Children's Services and placed in state's custody. Burks said professionals describe multiple emotional blows as complex trauma. Children typically can't be expected to process and share their emotions the same way adults do. I can tell you my heart's broken, I'm feeling sad, or I'm really ticked off because I'm missing this person or whatever, Burks said. A child doesn't always have the tools yet or experience of life to understand and how to cope with that in a healthy way. She said that lack of full development makes therapy all the more important. Play therapy is excellent for young children, Burke said. I get the kids doing that kind of stuff in my sessions when they're dealing with this kind of loss, and it helps them to feel like they are able to express themselves in ways they can't verbally. The length of time needed varies depending on the child and the type of trauma suffered, Burke said. She said studies have shown the brain's frontal lobe can develop differently as a result of childhood trauma, with long-term effects possible without treatment. In addition to emotional difficulties, children in such cases can be more susceptible to later physical diseases, including heart ailments, diabetes, and obesity. The good news is that with the right therapy and enough of it, children can emerge into emotionally and physically healthy adult lives. When they have completed trauma work, they are able to be very resilient and move forward and know that these things have happened, but it really turns things around for them, Burke said. In the Wells brothers case, accessing the needed care may be difficult. Many providers, including Burke's, don't accept TennCare because of low reimbursement rates. Nonprofit agencies like Frontier Health provide care the best they can, but are often overloaded with clients. They don't have the time or the resources to give necessary care to them. I know clinicians that work there and they may see a client once a month. In cases of complex trauma, Burke said, that's not usually enough. I would say at least weekly. There are times when they need to be in a higher level of care, 2 or 3 times a week. So places like Youth Village oftentimes are places that children go for those types of needs. With juvenile records closed to the public, there's no way to know what level of counseling or care the brothers are receiving and whether it is or isn't adequate considering their needs. Burke said, the publicity that surrounds the case leaves the boys' caregivers with an extra burden, but one she hopes they can bear. They need to be protective of them so that they're not approached or talked to about what they've experienced. And I think they need people to just realize they need some space, Burke said. They need to be able to heal from this, and people should show some compassion and recognize that this has not been easy for them. They've not only lost a sibling, they've lost their parents, their family, what they've always known. You know, those things are really tough for kids to lose.